What is up, P90 fam? It is Matt Monahan here, founder of P90 Football Academy and host of our P90 Podcast. We're coming here with episode number 2 with a very, very special guest, Nikola Baljak. It's very, very awesome to have you on here, and we're buzzing to be able to tell your story here. So, Nico.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely, my guy. So, a bit of context, Nico is a player at P90 Football Academy. I've been coaching him for years now, and honestly, since the beginning, I think you were like the 4th player that started at P90, something like that, and launched it right away, and you're like, yo, hit me up in sessions, early morning, 6 a.m. in earnest manner. So that's where it started with Nico, and here we are now, a year and a half in, and he's still buzzing, he's still preparing for preseason.
Of course, bro, of course.
100%. Alrighty, my guy, so the idea for this pod, again, is to tell Nico's story and to kind of give another outlet for the story to be told in this direction here. We're going to start the same way that we started with Rob. 10 quick fire questions, and then we'll get going from there. So the first one is, Nico, how old are you, my guy?
I am 19 years old.
19 years old,
yes.
Very, very nice. And where did you play in youth? So before, let's say, age 10.
I started growing up playing at SD Serbia, a local club.
Fantastic. That's awesome. And what about your middle years, so like that teenage?
I kind of jumped around different teams. I played a little bit of a combined team of Selfless United and SD Serbia, and then I went to Deerfoot United, and then I ended off at Foothills.
Deerfoot United, are they still a thing, or do you know?
Oh, I don't think so.
Damn, that's awesome. What about okay, so you ended off at Foothills, you said. Now tell me where you're playing currently.
I'm currently playing at now it used to be called Lethbridge College, but it has now changed to Lethbridge Polytechnic.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm playing there for the Kodiak's men's soccer team.
Nice, man. I had no idea they had a name change.
Yeah, it was like a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
That's nice. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, back to I guess the other questions other than the football stuff. Right or left-footed?
I'm right-footed, but I prefer both.
Yeah, you can play both. 100%. Now, big one here. Ask Rob the same one. Celebrating in front of the home crowd or shushing the away crowd?
Shushing the away crowd.
Yeah, hey?
100%.
Why is that?
Because it's just like most of the time the home crowd thinks they're just like the loudest and they can like get into the opponent's heads, but like when you just hit one of these, it's just. I have a clip actually. I'll bring a story up later of me doing one of these in one of our away games last season. Yeah.
Who were you playing against?
Olds.
No way.
Yeah, but it.
On that farmer's field.
Yep, but you can never hit one of these without something happening. So.
Oh, tell me what happened. Now you gotta tell us.
Okay, I'll say it. So that game was a really, really, really really hectic game. Like players were just throwing each other, they were just going at each other, and so we came in pretty strong. We were beating them, I think 2-1, 3-1, and then they just out of nowhere, the refs that game were horrible. Really? Absolutely horrible. They gave, I think that Olds got in 4 penalties that game.
Shut up.
4 penalties that game. We score, I think it was our 3rd goal to make it 3-1. We scored and we're all running around because all the Olds players are all chirping and stuff. So, and the crowds are all chirping. So we're coming around, everyone's celebrating, and obviously I can make my way around the crowd, and I look at all of them and I go like this, all the way down. And then obviously as the game progresses, they get a couple penalties, then we're tied 3-3, and then we score a goal half field. The goalie saved it, but he was in the net.
No way.
And they gave it to us, and it was I think it was 5-4 at the time. Last minute they added extra time, but it was supposed to be done. The game was supposed to be over.
Yeah.
Gets a penalty.
No way.
Game finishes 5-5.
So they got 4 penalties.
Yeah. 4 penalties.
They've earned 1 goal and gotten 4 penalties. 5-5. Is that right?
Yeah. Undeserved. And that was halfway through our season too, because our first half of the season was really well. We were above state. We were first for a good
I remember this.
Yeah. And then we were actually ranked top 7 in Canada.
I remember that too.
Yeah, we got ranked top 7 in Canada, and then it was after we played state, our coaches decided they wanted to switch up some things, and then that's what happens. We went down, and then the last half of the season was a really struggle. But since we did really good our first season, we managed to make playoffs.
Wow.
Which was good.
Yeah. Talk about your experience in playoffs.
It was really good. Playing at Lethbridge, it was really good because I got a lot of minutes and I got a lot of experience. So going into championships, I was a starter and I played the full 90 minutes.
Nice, bro.
Our first game we played against Nate, very, very, very strong team.
Yep.
We were actually doing really well the first half, first 45. I'd say the first 38 to 40 minutes, it was a 0-0 game. It was very tied, and then the last 5 minutes they got 2 really lazy goals, and then we kind of just fell off the next half.
I swear I was watching this game online. I swear
Yeah,
I was watching.
it was
Nate
live
Lethbridge.
stream.
Yeah, because it was in the dome, right?
Yeah.
Damn,
I know.
that's unfortunate. Because then if you lose the first one, you can't make the
We were
finals, right?
we were done.
Yeah. But you guys got 4th, didn't you? 4th or 5th?
5th.
5th? Okay. So then it was, because I remember too, I was watching State and I was like, wow, that's disappointing.
Yeah,
honestly.
they low-key kind of choked it, I won't lie.
Yeah.
They had a really strong squad as well.
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
100%. Because they got, I don't even think they got 3rd, man.
No, they got 4th.
Wow.
Yeah, they lost the bronze medal game. Yeah, they did.
Oh my days.
Yep, they
I
did.
feel like I definitely knew this, but I forgot
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. And stuff,
I was
but-
there. I was watching. It was
Wow.
crazy. Especially the game to go to gold.
Yeah.
Actually, it was against Nate.
Yeah.
It was a very close game, and then I think one of Sate's players, Connor, he got a red card.
Really?
And once he got a red card, the team decided to go it just fell apart, and then they scored some third way of the pitch banger,
Right.
and they're just going crazy, and the crowd was going crazy, and then after their mentality was down. I mean, there's 5 minutes left of the game. They're 1-0 down. They're gonna have to do something, right?
100%.
So they're all trying to push, and then they get hit with a counterattack. 2-0.
Yeah.
The game ends.
So for some context, I played at State for 2 years before Nico was graduated high school and into college and stuff. But we had a phenomenal team at State, and they were still so strong even when I was done and graduated.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a shocker because I totally forgot that too. But that was last season.
Yeah, that was last season.
Yeah, that was November time. Yeah.
Even there was something happened in futsal. I don't know if it's my place to share, but they got really unlucky there as well. But
It's an off year, honestly. Those boys that are there, quality lads. The guys that have just graduated as well. A guy like Jacob Hunter has been just so good for his whole years there.
Oh, yeah.
Super smart kid as well, deserving of a captainship role as well.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of great players, great coaches, great everything there. Is Sean still the coach of the
He
coaching?
is, yeah.
He is? Yeah, I've heard some really good things about him.
yeah, he's a good coach. He definitely knows what he's talking about. It's kind of hard because he manages both the women's and the men's team.
Really?
Yeah, so
Good for him, man.
he's
Wow.
for both of them. Yeah. So he's really doing his best. He's a good coach. He's a solid coach. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that took a bit of a turn. I wanted to talk about the stuff at the end, the stuff like that. But no, that's great.
It's good to get it out of the way. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the stories that are kind of fresh in your mind too. You were playing in second year, right? Or was this your first year?
This is my first. That was
Wow.
my first year. Yeah.
So you were a first year rookie. But did you play rookie? Were you a rookie all star?
I was for futsal. Yeah.
Wow.
They gave me
Good for you,
Yeah.
man. Good for you.
Yeah. it was
So
nice.
talk about that. So you were playing futsal, and obviously you're a very techie player and stuff. You got rookie all star for there.
Yeah.
Did you make the rookie team for ACA or CCA during the outdoor season, or was it just for futsal?
I think it was just for futsal because we had a lot of new recruits coming in, and I won't lie, they've had a pretty good season just because they've gotten I'd say the goals, most of our goals and stuff. So I guess if you're scoring goals, you're gonna get the spotlight, right?
Exactly.
But I feel they could kind of dig deeper in to see the actual gameplay of players, because I feel there's definitely players during that season that have played really good, that's held their weight, that's contributed a lot. But since they don't have a goal in their name or they don't have an assist on their name, they don't get the spotlight.
It's how did these goals? Where did they come from?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was the build that played before that?
Yeah.
And since you're an 8 or a 10, right?
I'm an 8, but going to that, what kind of was weird during that season is preseason, like I said, we went to UConn. Remember, I went to UConn.
Right.
We went there for a week. We played the UConn Selects and all of them. Our main guy, his name is Ben Knight. I don't know, you might have played him.
I played with him and against him.
Yeah, he's like ACAC
Yeah.
assist record holder right now. And he got ACAC like
Great,
player of the year.
great guy, by the way. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. He didn't come to us. He didn't come with us to UConn, so he usually plays that 6 role.
Yeah.
The defensive mid.
Yeah.
And so no one was there to play, and so I kind of just stepped in and filled that role during UConn because I was kind of the only one that knew the responsibilities of how to play. Yeah. So I played that, and then Sean, the coach, he really liked me playing in that position. So he kind of wanted to stick me there during the season. But as the season progressed, when it was me, Ben, and there was one more person in the middle. It would always switch. They would always get like subbed around. But it was just always me and Ben that was firm in the middle. And we kind of just played a kind of like a free roll. Like we'd always like rotate and switch around. And so, yeah, I've gotten a lot of experience with playing the 6 role in my first rookie year, but I'm definitely naturally an 8, 10.
Yeah. I see you as a 10 player. When I coach you, I see you as a very 10 attack-minded player. But with that being said, if you can play 10, you can really develop as a 6-2 and absolutely transfer those skills and knowledge into a 6 role as well. To me, a 6 is very tidy. You can still be a very technical 6, but you're no risk. You know, you're just a tidy, everything is firm, passes, long balls are great, driven balls are fantastic. As a 6, you are just such a tidy player. But that being said, if you're a 10, and you're just very, very technical as well, you can be a tidy 6. All of those, the 6, the 8, and the 10, if you can play anyone, you can play anything.
You just gotta recognize what you have to do in that role. Like 6 is your main role is to defense. There's obviously defensive and attacking wise.
100%.
Let's say it's our ball and we're attacking, we're transitioning. Your role is to be organized, distribute the ball where it needs to go, and just make sure you just don't make any stupid mistakes. Because if you lose the ball, it's practically a goal.
Exactly. And that's where that tidy aspect comes in. So everything above that, like yes, you do need all that, but above everything else, you just need to be tidy with the ball, take care of the ball. If players are trusting you to play into the 6, you better be able to distribute it well and be tidy on the ball too. Yeah. 100%, man. That's awesome. You know, I want you to keep talking about CCA. What is your plans in the next 3 years with this? Because players that normally go to CCA, a lot of them who are really, really skilled like you, who go and they play 90 minutes a game and they get those really, really good development opportunities, they tend to go and experience U Sports after. Like another player, Malcolm, as well, is going to University of Saskatchewan. He's earned that as well. But what is your plan in the next 3 years when you're maybe in your 4th and 5th year? Where do you see yourself?
So my plan is I have 1 more year in Lethbridge. Because my program is a 2-year program. They wanted me to take it in 3 years, but I knew I was able to finish it in 2 years. And so my plan is to finish this year really strong. Like there's no excuses at this point. Like I'm just gonna put my absolute best. Hopefully try to get an all-star. Try to get one of those. But my plan after that is to definitely go into U Sports, definitely go into a high level, even though I do have a lot of opportunities to stay in CCA or however it is, ACAC, and then to go to other schools, but I just feel like that's just going to hold me back, right? I want to progress. I want to be better. I know I can play in that next level. And so I think that's my plan. My plan is to originally try to come back to Calgary, but knowing, like, let's say UFC and that stuff, it's probably going to be difficult because there's a lot of competition and interest in that school. Sorry. So my other plan is just somewhere, honestly, in Alberta. I'm going to definitely still look into schools. I know Rob and Julian, they talked to me a little bit, and they said that U of Sask could be an opportunity. But yeah, I'm just focusing on this last season, and don't get me wrong, I'm still trying to get prepared and still emailing coaches just to say, like, just to look out, like, hey, it's my last year. is there anything you want to see in me that you want me to bring to your program? And so yeah, that's pretty much it.
People that are watching can see like this guy here. He's already doing it. You know what I mean? And which is why I love work. I've loved working with Nico past 2 or 3. I don't even know how many years, but
a couple years for sure.
It wasn't just me that was working with you with the coaching side and the training side and preparing side. Rob also worked with you as well.
Yeah.
Now, would you be able to talk a little bit about that?
Oh
as
yeah,
well?
100%. Yeah.
So I think it was last year, a month ago, very recent actually. He reached out to me just randomly. He just contacted me on Instagram and he said that he's starting like this mentorship program and he wants to he's seen my account and he knows that I was graduating and he wanted to see if he could try to like help me and give me some like tips and stuff as like a mentor, right? So it's like, this is 100% like something I definitely would need and that will help a lot because
100%.
he has the experience, right? He's been in the same position as me. We almost kind of have a like similar like story going, like progressing through our journey. And when I first started with him, at first I was like, it's always with everyone, it's kind of iffy. It's like, okay, like what am I gonna get out of this, right? Like I don't know if this is gonna be like good or not. But it was after the first kind of like a Zoom call, because he was still in I think it was Saskatchewan. Yeah, he was still in Saskatchewan.
He was either there or he was in Ontario. He was playing
Ontario. That's what it was. Ontario. So we had a couple Zoom calls, and what we'd go over was just the very basic stuff: what to look for, what to prepare for, how to prepare for. I told him that I was gonna go to Lethbridge to play a friendly game against U of L, and so he showed me a couple videos online he told me to watch those videos to see how Lethbridge plays, because obviously there's I wouldn't say a huge gap between U Sports and CCAA or whatever, but it's just, he said it's going to be more fast, it's going to be more physical, and I took that into account, and I took all the like tips he gave me, especially like mentally wise, like the mentality aspect of it. He's helped me like dramatically, like a lot. Like I think like he's just basically, from his experience, he was just telling me what to experience, and it just, with experience, it helps grow. And so I think what he did and what I experienced, I feel like obviously whatever happens in life happens for a reason.
Right.
And I feel like just that coincidence, that chance of him messaging me, and then I started getting those advices from him, and then next thing you know what, like a month later, I go to Lethbridge and I sign for the college. He helped me talk to the coaches. He's given me tips on ways to approach schools and stuff like that, and I just think it just helped a lot, man. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome to hear, man. And like, it's what he does is really, really good, and especially the way that he teaches through his story. You know what I mean? The guy has knowledge if he's gone from tier 3 and then in 1 year to signing in university, right, or to getting college offers. Like that's something else. Now, for me, I read somewhere as well. I'm really in the books, right? I haven't read much recently. Been super busy this past year with the academy and all. But I was a big reader. Only when I turned 18. If you gave me a book before I was 17, I was like, what the hell? And I'd throw it away.
I know, man, yeah.
But I got into good books, educational books, and everything I've learned, or a lot of things that I've learned have been through books. And I can't even remember what book this was from, but it talked about mentors. And the two people you need to be around is someone who's going to push you to be better, so someone who is above you or somewhere where you want to be.
Yeah.
And someone who's below you that you want to help drag up.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's hard to find those actual mentors that are wanting and believe in you to bring up.
Yeah.
It's really, really tough to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And when you build a relationship with someone like Rob, someone who knows exactly how you've been, or even with me too, by going through the same processes of going to Lethbridge as well, just in the university.
Yeah.
We've been in those shoes, right? now we're trying to help you because we care about bringing you forward. We care about that.
Yeah.
And so for me, I got a little bit of a story. I had a mentor too growing up.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, it was so good for me. Like as a lost kid, someone who's just a shit disturber was getting into stupid trouble, to have like a guy, and he was way older. He was an ex-Olympian, and he was a teacher. And his name is Mark Knoll, so Mr. Knoll. And the way that he started to mentor me was super funny. So it was great. So I must have been like 14 or 13 or something, and I was so skinny. And I was getting pushed off the ball. And so I was sick and tired of getting pushed off the ball. And I was like, yo, like, I need to start working out. I need to start putting some muscle on me.
Yeah.
So I'd go in the gym, and who would be in there? Mr. Knoll. I'm like, oh, what's up, Knoll? How you doing? And he's just like this 45-year-old guy who was like so lean and muscular. He's a cyclist, ex-speed skater in the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Like super fit. And he's like, yo, what's up? Like most charismatic guy.
Yeah.
And I had him for grade 7, so we were still like super tight.
Yeah.
And then the next day I go back and he's there. And I'm like, what, do you just live in here? And he's like, well, I'm here every single lunch. And he's like, come work out with me tomorrow. And I'm like, hell yeah. If I look at this guy and there's someone that's like where I want to be, if I'm 45 looking that good, holy,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, so grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I would train with him in the weight room every single day. Now, it wasn't even about the training, but it was the advice that he gave me. Every problem I had, I went to him about, because I'm like, well, he's obviously been there.
Yeah.
Like, even little stuff, like I had my first girlfriend in grade 9.
Yeah.
Right? And we broke up, and I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, Mr. Noel, what do I do?
Yeah.
So he didn't just help me out on the athletic side, but like just with navigating through life as a young teenager, not really knowing what to do. And he really set me on course for this. You can play university as well. It wasn't necessarily any coaches. While I did have good coaches in Foothills and in other areas, Ramon Mifflin, for example, such a, like, still to this day, the best coach I've ever had.
Yeah.
But this guy is the one guy that actually impacted my life so much. So the value of mentors, of people that truly care and want the best for you to succeed, like, there's nothing more valuable than that.
100%.
There's nothing more valuable than that.
Yeah.
So for you and other players now to be getting that from Rob, a guy that does truly care, does want you guys to succeed, is so massive. So I'm super happy you brought that up as well.
100%,
I asked Rob this, but I also want to ask you this as well. Now, coaching Nico, as a coach, sometimes you can see it in players. You can just go like, this guy wants it. You know what I mean? And for me to coach you, I was like, I've never met a player that wants to hit more.
Yeah.
You were always a good player.
Yeah.
There was never you never really had like a down and then you went straight up. You were always a good player.
Yeah.
But you kept training and you kept pushing. You kept wanting more.
Yeah.
Always in our sessions, whether it was at another academy or whether it was at Plus 90.
Yeah.
You always wanted more. Now, I want you to explain or tell your side of what that actually took, or your mentality to be like, hey, like, I'm gonna train at P90. I'm gonna be the 4th player to come train, to take a chance in a new academy.
Yeah.
Like, tell that side to be like, you know what, I want more. I need to train.
100%.
So basically, it all stems on passion. Like, if you want it, if you really want it, then, and you have that passion and your heart desires and you want what you want, you're gonna do whatever it needs to take to do what you want, right? So kind of just goes back to my passion for the sport and me, like, of me wanting to do this for a living rather than it just being for fun and for the side. I knew if I wanted to do what I wanted to do, I have to put in more work, extra hours, and just put in more effort than everyone else. That's just pretty much how it goes in any sport and anything you do in life. It's just, if you want to do something and you want to be good at it, you have to give it time, you have to practice it, and you have to give it just your all, 100%. So basically, when you first came out with your P90, it's kind of just, I just kind of found it as like another opportunity to just get that, the more touches, more sessions, and especially coming from you with experience of what it's like playing in that environment. I just feel like it's just what I wanted, because it's kind of just self-explanatory. You see someone with experience, you see, oh, he's done that, he has experience, I'm gonna go to him, right? He has the experience and the knowledge to help me, rather than going to some guy that doesn't know, right? And so I saw your academy, and we've reached out to each other and we started talking and we had a couple of the sessions and I'm pretty sure there were individual sessions. Our first couple of sessions were individual sessions, and I really liked what we were doing. I liked the intensity that you also bring into the sessions. I feel like that was also a good one because there's some academies out there's some private sessions out there that the coaches will just bring the players out just because they're just there to train, right? They're doing it as like a side hustle, like a job or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like what I've noticed with you is you've brought the players out and you actually like dug in and trained, right? You trained the players. You wanted to make sure they were putting in that work. You wanted to make sure they were doing what's right, giving them the advice, like tips and tricks on what to fix and stuff. And so I feel like that's also what kind of led me to stay and while you were going through this. And so along with that, plus with my mentality of wanting more and just wanting to grind and getting better and just having that passion, I feel like it just kind of just connects. It just goes together, and then that's kind of just what happens. That's kind of, just pretty much, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. No, I gotta say, man, like not a lot of players have it the way that you have it.
Yeah.
Players have the passion. Players say they have the passion. Players say, I'm gonna play at your sports. I'm gonna do this and this and this. But not a lot actually do the proper training and prepare the right way and actually produce and show exactly it. Yeah. Because I've coached players that are like, I'm gonna do this. I want to do this, and everything they say, I'm like, that's amazing. Yeah. Now listen to me. Like tell my story about how I said the exact same thing, but then I didn't do it, and I screwed myself over in the first year, and I'll tell you how I made those mistakes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. To say it is one thing, but to actually act on it is a completely other thing.
100%.
Yeah. Especially like you said, your first year, it's all easy to say, oh yeah, I made it, I'm gonna go in all nice, and then you get there, and then what? You think it's just gonna be just steady? Yeah. Like no, you gotta still keep going. You gotta still put in the work. You gotta still compete because everyone else that you're there wants what you want.
Exactly.
It might not be like a toxic competition or whatever, but no matter what in life, it's all competition. And that's just what life is. It's if you want to be what you want to be and you want to be good at what you want to be, but you're in an environment with people around. It's not, you don't have to be toxic and just be mean and all that, like, oh, like, I'm gonna be better than you, blah, blah, blah. No, you just kind of just stay in your own lane, you just do what you need to do, and you just
let your work talk.
100%. Do the work. Yeah. And for you to realize this as a young man, 18, 19, first year coming out, is huge. Yeah. Because I didn't really realize it until after my second year. Mm-hmm. Now, it wasn't that I wasn't working, it's that I'll tell a little bit of my university story. Yeah. So, as I said, I was that player that was super cocky for like seriously no reason. Like I don't know why I was like looking back. I was like I wasn't that good. Like what? to be as cocky as I was, I surely would have been like the top player on my football team, rather than an average player on my football team. Now all those boys had offers to sign. That's a good football team. Yeah, but to be that cocky, and I guess in a sense we all were. In our own way, we all were pretty cocky. But to go there my first year and have a very, very poor first year, and to have like the mentality of like, oh well, I deserve it, but I'm not gonna actually work to earn it, was crazy. Yeah. And it was literally just because I was immature. Yeah. I was so immature. Yeah. So I realized this after my second year. I got a few more minutes, played some extra games, blah blah blah, but I was still so angry. And then COVID came around, and it was really, really good because I was like, okay, now is my chance. We talked about this Nikola Podcast with Rob. Yeah. I'm not sure if you even saw it, but how COVID really helped us both. Oh yeah. Because we used it as a time to like actually train and get better. But the stuff I was doing, Nico, like it was waking up every single day at 5, doing my morning routine at 5, then hitting the gym at 6:30. And I actually had a guy that I was doing this with. Mm-hmm. So it goes back to this whole mentorship aspect of like having someone older than you who's experienced this stuff that's pushing you to get there. And I like tended to have that person in my life through majority of my life. I had Mr. Nolan, then I had this other guy Marcus, who I would work out with, and he would push me. We would always talk about our plans to do better in years and blah blah blah. And it was so good. Yeah. After that, we would go to the gym floor and train. And literally, like, I can't tell you if the sessions were any good or if we were just like pooped from our gym session or whatever. Yeah. but we were doing it. We were putting in the hours, and that
Exactly.
was just right before COVID. That was like right after my second year, so I was around your age.
Yeah.
19 years older, even maybe 19 makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's when I really started to put in the effort. Every training I did, whether it was in HP, whether it was in workouts, whether it was my own workouts, whether it was training outdoors, like everything was so attention to detail.
Yeah.
Like you were not bothering me if I was in an HP session
Oh, yeah.
with the boys. Like if people were dicking around, like I was not dicking. I was focused, and this is just lifting weight. But it was
Yeah.
like, no, like I am getting better.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate that third year was canceled because I earned my starting spot. I earned a lot of stuff that I've been craving to earn,
Mm-hmm.
and yet there wasn't really a season to like produce or to like actually produce.
Yeah.
So then to come back to state and then to still be like super sharp of a player, but then to be a different player at state on a actually better team, if you can believe it, from U Sports CCA, it was a better team.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was honestly crazy. But that's my experience with the whole having someone to push you as well as my own like grit to like get better.
Yeah.
But what I'm really interested in, I know we talked a lot about your life now.
Yeah. I'm
really interested in your childhood. And I'm really interested in your upbringing through football, where you've come from. Do you mind really talking about that stuff?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
So I want to start basically right from the very beginning of how I started and how I've gotten into the sport of football. It basically, honestly, all comes back and tracks through my sister, right? Because at the very, very beginning, when I was, I'd say around like 7-8 years old, I was basically just a regular normal kid, just lived the life day by day, went to school, didn't do any sports, just lived life. And my sister got into soccer. She got into soccer because of her like whole like relationship, whatever. I'm pretty sure I explained it before with you. Her whole high school like boyfriend or whatever, blah blah blah. But yeah, she got into soccer, and she actually started at Full Hills and she played. I've watched her play, and it wasn't really anything I was really interested in. My sister would always say, "Hey, like, why don't you come play with me?" And I would like defend my life, like, "No, I don't want to. I don't like the sport. I don't want to. I absolutely hate it. Like, it's garbage." And like, it's like my mom was then after forcing, like, "Why don't you just go play? Just try it out." Blah blah blah. And then I have this locally. We have this Serbian community, and we have. Our Serbian community is like very religious, right? We're Orthodox Christian, and so we have a pope that's priest. Yeah, that would have been messed up. But we had a priest that's locally. He ran a community soccer team called SC Serbia, right? And so he saw we'd always go over to his house for like these like religious events or family events or whatever. And so he saw my sister playing sports, and he saw I wasn't playing anything. So he said, "Why don't you just come out and just try one practice with us?" He had a son exact same age as me. He played. He's like, "Why don't you just come with us one practice?" And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And I think finally a couple weeks later, I was like, okay, fine, I'll go to one. I'll go to one practice. I'll see what this whole thing is about. This is I think I was about 8 years old this time, and so I go to the practice, do the practice. It's like a regular like UA practice, what you expect playing the sport at 8 years old, right? And then I come back from practice, and my mom comes up to me, and she's like, "So, like, what is it?" And I looked up to her, and I was like, "I want to do this for the rest of my life." Straight up, I was like, I want to just play. I just want to play like forever. Like, it was like after that practice, is like something inside of me just like kind of like unlocked, and I just fell and grew in love with the sport. And this is like something I just had like just automatically just grew passion for.
Amazing.
And so yeah, I just played with that team, won so many medals, went to so many provincials. That team was like in the newspapers at one point, because it was like in Okotoks newspapers. Even though we were like majority like low like tier, like I say like tier I think 3, like I'll go back onto like the level aspect wise, but yeah, we've been always playing in low division. We've played really solid team, good boys, a bunch of the good boys, and so I played for that team majority of my life. So it's like U8 till I'd say like U13 to 14. And after that, we came across a coach. His name was Robert as well, yeah. He was a Southwest United coach. And he saw how good our SD Serbia team was doing. And he had a really, really, really good Southwest United team. And he was like, why don't we just conjoin our teams for a season? And I think it was called like SD or SWU Eagles or something like that. I don't know what it was, but we conjoined for a season. And I think we went to Tier 2. And we played Tier 2 for a season. And it was good. We did good, we played good, and then something happened with the coaches because Robert and then my coach, they like got into some sort of like an argument or whatever, and so the team kind of just like dismantled, right? So they parted their ways. He went as one team, they went as one team, and at that point in life, U13, 14, I was like, what do I actually want to get out of this, right? My mom kept telling me, it's all fun and games now, the years are coming, but once you actually start getting into the important stages, you got to start realizing, like, is this actually something you want to do? And so that kind of stuck with me, and I was like, okay, I don't want to like leave the team, and then everyone's like, oh my God, he's left the team. Because I won't lie, no egotistical stuff, I was pretty much the best on the team. I helped that team a lot. It was this one guy, me and this other guy named Jafar. I tell you not, I kid you not, this kid, I thought he was going to be professional. This kid had so much potential and so much skill. This kid was, I think, the best kid I've ever seen. Literally took the entire team on just by himself. Like, I'd literally give him the ball, give him a 1-2, and he would just go. Yeah. I'd see this kid grow up, hit this teenage stage, puberty or whatever. He fell out of love with the sport.
No way.
It happens to the best of us. It happens to people. It's like, it's just not what they want to do anymore, and then they just stop playing. And then I when I saw that, I feel like that kind of also like took a turn in me, and I was like, there's no way you wasted all that potential and all that like skill, like raw natural skill. Like he did not put in the extra hours. He didn't train outside of what we did at soccer. He'd eat so much bad food, but he was always like one of those like little kids. But like he wasn't like a bad guy or anything. He was a great guy. It's just he just fell out of love with the sport. And it hurt me to see that. And so I was like, I kind of felt like I had to like go on and do it for him, right? In a way, right? And so I stayed at that team, I think a couple years longer, and I had a couple like conflicts in that because I'd always switch. For one season that team, and then the other season I'd go to the like Robert's team, as the Southwest United team, because he really enjoyed me as a player, and I'd always go back and forth, and then I think it was after COVID year. 2019, we absolutely destroyed the league. We're about to go to provincials. It was like spring break. I remember it.
How old were you then?
I was 15.
Okay.
I was 15. It was 2 days before spring break. We pack our bags. We're getting ready to go. I think it was Medicine Hat for provincials. And then they get a call. Everything's canceled because of COVID. So that was kind of a bummer. And so COVID hit. Nothing was going on. And I won't lie, COVID, as everyone says, COVID year was probably one of the best things that happened for them. Personally, me, I think COVID year was one of like the worst things.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'll get into it, because when you hit puberty, you go through like you just go through a lot of stages, and then you have a lot of friends, and obviously a lot of my friends, they weren't like athletes like me. They were just like the regular kids.
Right.
And so they got into like video games and stuff like that. And obviously I really believe that you are who you are with around like the environment you are.
You are the average of the 5 closest people you spend time with.
100%. So they would always like hop on the game and like, come on, hop on the game, and it's like, okay, whatever. I'd hop on the game, and then that hop on the game would turn into like an extra hour on the game, and then it turned into another extra hour of the game, and then as soon as you know it, you're like 12 hours a day, going to sleep at 4 a.m.,
Jesus.
waking up at 2 o'clock.
And it's over COVID, right?
And you just repeat the cycle.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that really took a tough turn on me because you couldn't do anything. There was no sports, there was no nothing. I didn't have anyone there to tell me what I was doing was wrong because everyone was worrying about themselves because COVID, what the hell just happened? Everything's closed. You can't do anything. So I didn't have anyone there to help me. No one was there to really focus on other people. They were just there to like focus on themselves and focus on what the hell is happening around them. And so I kind of just fell into like a deep hole of like confusion, right? And so I'd be one of those like kids, gained a couple pounds, wasn't really like athletic anymore, just one of those like the weird ones. And then this was during grade 8, and then I hit grade 9. Sorry, the gaming phase was during middle school, grade 8, transitioning into COVID.
Got you. So it only got worse.
It only got worse.
Yeah.
It only got worse. And so it was after COVID, I think grade 10, first started high school, and this is when we started going to school and you had to wear masks and stuff. And I'd see kids around me, and I'd see on social media kids this is when sports started to run back in, and everyone would start getting back into their sports, and I'd see a couple of my close friends play soccer, because I transitioned to another friend group of like sports people, which I feel like also helped me turn back.
Get out of that,
yeah. So I saw them, they were getting back into it, and I feel like there's just one night where I was just sitting there and I just realized like, it's like, what am I doing? Right? It's just like really like what I like wanted to do. Like I had a dream, I had a passion, I had something going for me, and then I kind of just almost threw it away, and it just kind of brought me back to the kid Jafar. And I was like, do I really want this to like happen to me? Do I really want to let this down? And I was like, no, there's no chance. I'm not. I just don't want to. And then the passion kind of just grew back, and for the love of the sport, I started playing again. And then I was like, okay, I want to get back into it. So after I started to get back into it, completely left SD Serbia, completely left all the other teams. I was playing like tier 3, and I was like, okay, like if I want to go somewhere, I can't be playing low division, right? So that's how I went into one of that's how I started into academies, right? I got into academies, and I started to meet people, and I started getting connections, and it was where I got invited to come play for Deerfoot United, tier 1.
Wow. It
was a big jump from tier 3 to tier 1, but it's just at that time I just had the natural like raw talent and the raw skill as well. It's not like, not trying to be no like egotistical like, oh like I'm just so good at it. It's just when someone has natural skill and natural talent when they play the sport, they just have it, right?
Yeah.
And so obviously I wasn't crazy enough to stay and compete and go crazy in tier 1, but I definitely had a little bit to just manage my way to get in. So I got in, and this was grade 10, yes, and I was versing the league was a year above me, so I was playing against a lot of players. Yeah, a lot of players that were a year older than me, and I felt like that I found a lot of struggle and challenge, because not only are kids developing drastically during those ages, especially men, the kids that were a year older, just a 1 year difference, they were bigger, they were faster, they're stronger. It's just natural, and like there's not much you can do there. And so that's where I kind of flipped the switch, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to start putting in the work. I'm gonna have to start training. I'm gonna have to start grinding. And so literally went on Amazon, bought the like first set of training kit that there was like cones, ladders or whatever. Yeah. Wow. And then I would go to the nearest field that was literally like a 5-second walk across from my house. And I would go there every single day, just start doing the basics, start playing, start doing cone drills. I know a lot of trainers now will say cone drills aren't really much or whatever, but it's definitely a place to start.
If you're doing it by yourself, man, like that's what you gotta do if you're trying to, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's definitely a starting point for me. Mm-hmm. And so I got into that, I started playing, and then it was a season after that, transitioning into indoor, and I was like, I didn't really like the team there. I didn't think I was gonna go anywhere there. Wasn't really anything special. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, okay, if I want to go somewhere, I have to go somewhere that's well known and that's has recognition, which is Foothills.
Absolutely.
Calgary Foothills
which is the exact reason I went to.
Yeah,
from Southwest as well, which is crazy.
100%.
Yeah.
Calgary Foothills is, I think, by far one of the biggest clubs in. I kind of want to say Canada. I kind of want to say Canada because they've been in the game for a long time and they've had so many players and so many recognition and so much talent come from there.
Yeah.
And so I transitioned there. I went to a tryout, and going into that tryout, this is where also my mentality came in on not caring and confidence-wise. Confidence-wise was a big key for me, just drastically across these couple of years. I'll get into that as well, where the confidence goes up and down, but going into that first Foothills tryout, my confidence was really good because I had a really good mindset going into it. And so I went in, balled out. I think it was like a tier 1 team for there. There was 2 tier 1 teams. There was an FC team, and there was like the tier 1 team that was just under it, just like for like the fall up.
When I was there.
Yeah. And so I tried out. I tried for both teams, but with Foothills and stuff, it's mostly just political. If I'm being honest, Foothills is very like, if you know people, or unless you're like literally like insanely like good. And so they kind of just say, okay, you're part of the average, so we'll just put you in that team. So I think I balled out pretty good, but got put into the regular tier 1 team. And the first year went really good. The first indoor season, the first half, I'll say, went pretty decent. The coach I had, this is a very big turning point, or a very big lesson in my football career. The coach I had was very, very, very unique. He was, I would say in a sense, he was very young to be a coach, but he was also very immature. And so he would be...
What do you mean by immature? What would like quantify it as immaturity?
Like, he's like, I don't know like if it's my place to say, but like he's like goes to practice like hungover. He's one of those coaches that were just like... I
wouldn't even say that's immature, it's just that you can't do that.
It's just like, I'll get into it, it gets worse. But he was just one of those coaches, like mentality-wise, he was really good. He really wanted the team to push. He wanted to train hard. I feel like he was just too hard on like the harsh aspect. Like any mistake a player would do, he would like get in your face for it. And he would like put you down rather than try to lift you back up, right? And try to help you. And so this is where it goes. One game in the indoor season, he was barely playing me because he didn't really trust me as much. But I was like, okay, that probably makes sense because I'm new into the environment. So I get played in, and it was like indoor game. It was like 5v5 or whatever, like the board list, or 7v7. And I was playing in the middle, and it was like a goal kick. Our goalie gives it to me. I give it back to him, and it leads into an own goal. It was just such a stupid own goal, and he was just like, it was just bad. Like he just didn't, like he wouldn't even talk to me. He wouldn't even play me. And like I say, after that game, my confidence just down. My like mentality just down. Just everything went down. I was like, I felt like there was like almost no way out of this, but as I'm going back into it, everything happens for a reason. Last game of the season, it was a very important game for us. The game's about to start. He's nowhere to be found. Game starts. One of the assistant coaches from the FC team had to come down and coach us during the game. He
Really?
did not appear for the game. Next thing you know it, he gets fired. The reason why is because he was drinking that night or whatever, and so he wasn't able to like get up or whatever, and his phone died, and he couldn't drive a car because I think he got a DUI or whatever.
Jesus.
So he was just an absolute mess, right? So I just think he was just wasn't in the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I didn't hate the guy for what he was. It's just he just wasn't in the right place.
Right.
He just needed just to go on his own time and regroup. I think he after moved back to, because he's from London, so I think after he moved back to London or whatever, and I feel like that's just what he needed. And I feel like that helped me so much because a new coach came in. Amazing coach.
Wow.
Amazing coach, really good. He had the discipline, he had the hard work, but he also had the factor of uplifting and helping players. You made a mistake, you did something wrong. It wasn't what the hell are you doing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, do this better.
Yep.
This is what you have to do it better. And so we kept staying in tier 1. We had a beautiful season. We played good. It was it went from outdoor, indoor. I played 2 seasons with him, outdoor and indoor. And then he got called down to coach, I think it was the 06 AYSL team.
And that's what tends to happen with a good coach. They're going to be put up.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was helping, I think, at the time is Paul. I don't know if you know Paul. He coaches the League One team, I think, now. So it was like our assistant coach.
Okay, yeah.
But he helped him, and so we got into a new coach. And this was that new coach. This was, I'd say, this is on like grade 11, I think, going into grade 12 now.
Okay, well,
so
I would have probably met you by then.
Yeah, 100%. And so now I have last year of high school, last year of outdoor season, playing Div 1 men's league. I'll also talk about the transition to men's league as well. I transitioned to men's league. I'd say most people had a very rough moment going into men's league, but I feel like personally me, I didn't, because I felt like I knew what to expect. Bigger, stronger guys, probably faster game of pace. And so went in, I think we dropped down to Div 2 in indoor. This was with our new coach. And then I balled out. That's where we started have VOing, or VO, like the camera.
Yeah.
And so that's where I started getting my clips.
Nice.
I started creating clips in the indoor and outdoor season. I started just collecting those clips together, and I think this was like halfway through grade 12. I think I just finished my first semester diplomas, and I was like, okay, I need to figure out what I want to do. And my love and passion for the sport was just at an all-time high. Like, I just wanted to keep going. I just wanted to play. I just wanted to get better. And it was only through those academies where I started to realize the potential and the growth that I've experienced. And I was like, okay, I feel like I can definitely get into school sports. At the time, I really wanted to get into youth sports, but if I was being honest with myself, I definitely knew I wasn't prepared or ready. And so, luckily, CCAA or ACAC was a thing. And so I started getting into it. I started looking around. Wasn't anything too serious, and my mom was on my back like, oh, you have to apply, like you have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And my mom, I'll go back into it, is very stereotypical strict European mom. Right. One of those where like school's number one, you have to go do it, you have to get it done, you have to go get education, degree, you have to be like your own self-man, get your own job, your own money. And
nothing wrong with that, but
yeah, 100%. Nothing wrong. It It's normal. And so with that having behind me, trying to push me to that, I was like, okay, well, I need to like make a decision. Do I want to pursue this, or do I just dead it pretty much and just go into school? And I was like, it was like definitely a couple nights where I was hard thinking, and it's just something inside of me was like, this is what you want to do, right? Why try to just do something else when this is what you want to do? This is the only thing you can see you wanting to do. Like I said, from when after that first ever practice, when I was 8 years old, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like I can't see myself doing anything else than this sport. And so I kind of just looked back at that and looked at my younger self, and I kind of just saw what he would think about, right? If he was in this position right now. And I was like, okay, like he definitely would want to pursue. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely gonna like not give up on this. So I started looking at schools. I started looking at the programs I wanted to do, which was the engineering. And so I looked at my biggest dream at the time was getting into SAIT. Playing SAIT, getting into the electrical, because at the time I wanted to be in electrical engineering. And I think that would have been like the perfect dream. I stayed in Calgary, nothing to worry about, going to school, playing college sports. It was my dream. But as time goes, pass on, I'd email Connor, I'd try to get in contact, but there was nothing much from it. And so that's when I saw other schools like Medicine Hat College and the Lethbridge, Kodiaks. And I actually messaged Medicine Hat College first.
Really?
The coach there, he was Serbian as well. I got on the phone with him, we talked, and he was really, this was a time where those clips that I gathered, I made a videotape. I made a highlight tape. I made, I did one of those emails, all like the formats and everything, and I just started sending them out to schools. And so he was the first person to contact me back. I got on a call with him, and he was calling me, and he was like, yeah, I saw your tape. I'm very interested. And I was like, we're coming down to play state, and I wanna meet you, and I wanna talk to your mom, and I wanna like just introduce myself and just talk around. I was like, for sure, yeah, like I would definitely come out. And I don't know what happened, but I think I had to go to like some family event, and I couldn't go out to him. And so I told him, and he's like, yeah, no worries, there'll definitely be plenty of times where I'll come back out, we can continue to chat. And I think after a couple weeks, just nothing really happened. It was still kind of dead silent. And that's when I got a call back or an email back from Sean from Lethbridge. He texted me, and he's like, hey Nikola, I saw your tapes, I'm very interested. And I talked with, at the time, my academy coach in Foothills, Al Fernandez.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he great guy, by the way.
Yeah,
good coach.
I've heard a lot of good.
Yeah,
things,
he's I think he's like assistant coach now at SAIT. Just signed this year, which is good. But he said he talked to Al because he had some connections, because Al used to had some history in his past at Lethbridge at the Kodiaks as well. And so he talked to him. He's like, yeah. He said he put a good word for you. Definitely interested. I want you to come out and train with us, play a game. I think they had a game against U of L. And so he said, I want you to come out and play. And I was like, 100%, I'll come out. And at that time, that's when I met Robert.
Really?
Yeah, that's when he texted me and we started talking. And then that's when I started going into that mentorship program that he had. And that's when he started helping me, preparing me mentally, giving me tips, exercises, how to prepare myself.
Yeah.
And I'll get more into that as well, but pretty much he was helping me there, and it's basically just time leading into it. And at the time I told that to my mom, and at the time she was not a fan of it. She didn't want me to leave my hometown, live by myself, especially going to a college instead of a university where you're not getting, like, let's say the highest education. right? And so I feel like it took her a while to just swallow that pill and just to like just accept and just to support on what I wanted to do, right? And I feel like that's what helped a lot, because she finally opened up and she was like, you know what, if this is actually what you really want to do, then do it.
Yeah.
If you really want to do this, then I'll be right here with you. I'll support you 100%. Just do it. So I got the green light from her, and I was like, okay, this is pretty much gonna happen. So I go out. I'll actually go more into the mentorship program, and I'll talk about my first game with the U of L. But one thing that helped me a lot, and that I've noticed a lot when going through the mentorship program with Robert, is the mentality aspect of it. Confidence and the mentality of just what to expect and how to prepare your like self-mind. And so he kind of we did a lot of exercises of talking to cameras, saying what your future wants to be, saying, oh, okay, I'm recording myself. I forgot what it was called. Something vlog, something camera, where you'd vlog it every day. You'd wake up and tell yourself what you're doing that day, and you tell yourself that you're gonna do it, you're gonna make it, you're gonna progress. Basically, just manifesting. He brought into manifesting into me, and so that's what I started to do. I started practicing those, and those manifestations, I would say, start to help with my confidence, my mentality. Not the confidence mentality of I'm gonna go in there and I'm better than everyone. You know, like one of those the cocky one. It's just going in, yes, walking with your chest high, knowing that you're good, knowing you know what you're doing, going in, showing what you can do, but without being like that, like in that way.
Yeah.
In a way, you know? And I feel like that's what helped a lot confidence wise, because what was I supposed to spend? I'm playing a U Sports team, never played U Sports ever in my life. Like I'm literally about to get like absolutely demolished. Like I'm about to get like absolutely crushed. And so he told me, he's like, it's not going to be anything crazy. He said it's just going to be very high pace and very physical. And that's
exactly what
pretty much what it was. I went in, surprisingly, I played a lot of minutes. Sean put me in and he played me a lot of minutes, and I played a decent game. Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular, but I wasn't like garbage or anything. It was a pretty decent game. I held my weight, played pretty solid. At the time I was like, holy, like this unit, like these people are cracked. Like these people are like crazy. But then obviously I'll get back into it like recently, but I come back, I talk to him, I share the experience with him, and he told me that was good, and we keep going. I think a month passed. Sean calls me, brings me in, he's like, let's sign. I want to sign you. And so this was before I went to Europe that summer as well. So this was before I went to my trip to Europe. I head down to Lethbridge with my dad, and I signed. I signed my first my first ever contract for any sports, for any schools, for anything like that. And it was a very, very, very big moment in my life, because it was something that just went like this, like something just came out of nowhere. And I feel like everything just happens for a reason. Everything aligns. Those coach switches, the people I meet, me meeting Robert at the time, me getting the right coach, the other coach getting fired, me getting into the right academies. I just feel like everything was just aligning in a way. And I just feel like, okay, this is happening. This is what I want to do. And so I go to Europe, come back, and we go to preseason in Yukon, balled out. Like my teammates like loved me. I think I played like one of like the best football I've played like in a while. Like because I feel like I just went in with so much confidence and so much like self-aware that I knew I could do it.
Self-belief, man.
Self-belief, exactly. And then I went in, balled out, came back. What an experience, by the way. I'm never going to forget those times. Traveling with teams, being with the team environment, all those late night talks and funs. Those are all experiences that you'll remember for the rest of your
And
life.
they only last until you're about 24. Never go on those trips when you're my age.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so, like, even me, like, a year later, I'm looking back and I'm like, damn, like, I wish we were low-key doing that again.
Yeah.
At the time, it was, like, weird. It was like, okay, it was, like, not bad. It was, like, but, like, as time goes, you just, like, look at it back and you're like, damn, like, I really, like, missed it, kind of. And so, yeah, came back, trained really good, got good in good shape for the season going in. First year rookie season. Played every game, 90 minutes, balled out. Like I said, the first half of the season we played really, really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
We were first, we were above state, and then it was just the time we came to play state, we were doing really good the first half, I think, of the game, and then it was just coaches' decisions, put in a couple players that just weren't ready, and kind of just cost us the game.
Yeah. It's unfortunate too when I'm like, because as a player, you tend to be really critical on the coach, and it's natural. You're looking at it from a player's perspective. And I was always very critical of my U of L coach.
Oh, yeah.
And I was critical of the decisions he made. And it wasn't until I became a coach and really understood what was actually going through his head. And I couldn't honestly understand completely.
Oh, yeah.
But I can empathize and be like, okay, like, you know what? That thing that I was really critical of from him 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I kind of get it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You look at it from a different lens. Maybe that's just maturing naturally.
Yeah.
Or that's maturing in football and transitioning from a player to a coach.
Exactly.
It could be a little bit of both, but it's hard to criticize a coach as an older player when you see, okay, well, he has 18 other players to kind of think about, for instance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like, anyways, I hate to interrupt you.
No, it's that makes sense. Yeah, because now that I look back at it, it just, you can't always put the blame on the coach, right?
100%.
And so, yes, at the time, all the players are frustrated, like, oh my God, what is he doing? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, your coach is supposed to know what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. But just, we're all human. Everyone makes mistakes, right?
100%.
And it just happens.
Yeah.
And so we kind of just pushed back, and then going through that last half, I'd say as a team, we were struggling, but as an individual player, for myself, I feel like I was struggling a bit as well. It was a very, very wet and cold season that last half. And so we were playing on like garbage pitches. My touches were off. My decisions would be impacted by what my touches are, and so my decisions would go down. And so I'd start to I wasn't inclining so much, but I started to hit a little, like I was at a peak, and then I started to hit like one of those.
You were like plateauing almost.
Yeah. And I started going down a little, and I was like, okay, like this is not what I want. This is not what I wanted. Like it's not good. And so I kind of stepped back, and this kind of goes back to the mentality wise. It kind of was really hard mentally wise. And so I kind of just, I just sat back and I was like, okay, Nikola, you got to go back. Like, you're here for a reason. Like, you got to look back at what you did the first half of the season, what you did good, and you just got to do good. Like, you're here for a reason. You're not garbage at ball. You can't let little what other people think of you, right? Yeah. You can't let your teammate oh my God, what is he doing? Like, you can't let that affect you. You just gotta just be in your own self-aware and just play your own game. And so that's what I started to do. I started playing again, started getting my self-confidence back, and then we went into championships. I'd say we played a decent game in championships, and I feel like it was definitely for a rookie season, definitely first year. It was definitely I'd say better than some players that definitely go first. Yeah, because I feel like it's just the experience and the minutes I got to play.
Yeah,
and I feel like that goes back with the trust from Sean. He really saw the potential I had, and he just trusted me. And I feel like that's very, very, very important for coaches nowadays. And even going back to you for your coaching, it's just knowing who to play and just having the trust in players. Because what's good now and can be better can be seen very rarely by coaches, but you can see it, right? And so And so getting that trust from Sean really helped me a lot, because not only did I ball out, I got the experience, and now I can just use that experience and just grow off from it.
100%.
Because you can never be the best. You can just keep getting better.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm pretty much doing. And so we transitioned to futsal. Futsal was, well, like individually wise, I feel like it was a good season for me. But as a team, it wasn't the best we've had. But yeah, we balled out. Unfortunately, the last couple of games of the season, I sprained one of my ankles in a men's league match in Lethbridge.
No way, man. Like at that turf.
At the Service Sports Center.
That we all played on.
Yeah.
Well, you and me anyway, but.
Versus one of the university boys, because...
And I was about to... That's hilarious. One last question I want to ask you, and this is a big one because you've told such a phenomenal story. This has been a long podcast.
Yeah.
But from childhood to middle years to school, everything has been so good.
Yeah.
Now I know that you've been able to like branch the connections of here and here and here and see that this is what happened and this is what made me here. But can you tell me now if there's one, maybe 2, 3, or 5 big lessons that you take from your journey, or big takeaways that you take from your journey that you can then relate to the P90 fam, anybody else watching, any youth players that are looking that will evidently get inspired by your journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd definitely say just not to give up. You're gonna get into bumpy roads. You're gonna get discouraged. You're gonna lose motivation. But if you have that true desire and the true passion and the true discipline, just to keep working and get through those bumpy roads, because obviously things will get better.
Yeah.
Just do your own thing, bro. Do your own craft. Play your own game. And importantly, enjoy it. A lot of coaches say this. A lot of people say it through your journey. Always enjoy it. But I feel like most people are like, yeah, whatever, enjoy it. Genuinely enjoy it, because when you enjoy it, that's what makes it easier.
Yeah.
That's what makes it more fun. That's what makes you more motivated, more eager to go and play the sport and want to go play, when you actually enjoy it. And so definitely players that are looking into getting into this and that want to go big and want to actually go and play, let's say, college sports and stuff, just don't get discouraged. Just keep playing, and just get out there, get yourself out there, get talking to people, get some connections. It doesn't hurt to go up to a guy at a session you don't know and just introduce yourself, talk to him. Coaches, 100%, just introduce yourself to coaches, talk to them, just get yourself out there, honestly. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And just always have in the back of your mind a reason why you're doing things, right?
Beautiful.
Have a reason what you're doing, and make sure that reason is a valuable reason for you, right? And if you have that, and you have a reason, and you have a dedication, you have a why, a question, a why you're doing this, why you're doing that, why you're doing that, then you will go anywhere in life, pretty much.
Wow, Nico. Wow, you know how I feel right now? Sorry, we're ending it right now, but I feel like my child has grown up and become such a man right now, and just listening to the wisdom come out of you, man. I met him when you were 15, 16, you know, and I was 20, but you know what I mean? I met you when you were a young guy, and none of that stuff would have ever come out of your mouth. None of those experiences, those lessons.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's incredible. Nico, my guy.
Thank you so much, bro.
man. My guy.
Thank you.
What an amazing podcast. Players, parents, coaches, whoever's watching, thank you guys for tuning in. Unbelievable podcast with an up-and-coming baller, soon to be youth sports player, soon to be professional, Nikola Baljak. We are sponsored by Prime Energy Drink, Prime, and there we go. Look at that as well. So hit him up. What is it? Is it Jake Paul that we're sponsored with? Yes. Yeah, I don't even know, but we're sponsored by him, so hit him up. All right. Cheers, guys.